Oh man. All right. Thank you guys for joining us on another week of FetchQuest. uh, before we start today, I do want to let you know that we have been creator Jacob S. Kellogg has generously donated some of his classes and spells for us to use and to show off. The spells are elemental spells, anywhere from fire. Well, really, it's fire, lightning, and ice spells that have been added into. I believe some players have taken those or not. I don't know. We'll see. And he's also given us some classes: Mage Knight, Arithmancer, and Astrologist. None of the players have those, but I mean, if someone dies, or we might see some NPCs with those classes. Who knows? Anyway, to catch us on up, I think Damikos wanted to say something.
Yeah, let's go. So last time on FetchQuest, we had some interesting social encounters regarding Zon getting some interesting underground potential information of certain things. And the party also decided to pass on some information about the fire that occurred at the inn that they were staying at, which may or may not have been the cause of a certain spellcaster in the group. But afterwards, they went on the month to month and a half trek to continue on towards the capital city of Moroth and eventually arrived at the outskirts where they encountered the fashion boutique that was run by Kara's brother. The party got some updated fashion attire. One of us may or may not have insisted on having sleeves, much to the chagrin of the non-sleeved fashion designers. And then the party went further in towards the inner parts of the capital city, which is where we left off.
Excellent. So the party is riding their horses across the bridge into the actual main capital of Moroth. Anything you guys want to do as you cross into your homeland? Well, 3/4 of your homeland.
Yep. I would like to come up, ride my horse up next to Zon, and say, Zon, I'll be honest, I'm not sure what's going to happen. I'm a little nervous about being back here, as I did not leave my family on the best of terms, and especially given the interesting situations that we found ourselves in recently.
Well, you can always stay at my manor.
I appreciate the offer, but are you sure that's a good idea, considering certain things?
What? You going to burn my manor down?
I don't know what's going to happen. We just
Well,
know interesting things have been happening.
interesting things happen all the time in war.
This is, true.
Nothing we won't be prepared for.
Okay.
And so with that, you guys cross into the main city of Moroth.
And I put on my mask.
Excellent. Yep. So he has his mask on. You notice everyone's wearing about the same, two different degrees of outfits that you guys are all wearing. There's a lot of long sleeve dresses, a lot of pantsuits, a lot of just regular suits. You do see someone who is just wearing one of the yellow shirts, but it does have sleeves. instead of being sleeveless as it normally is. There's just a variety of people walking around with a variety of their own version takes on the fashion. A good every 3 people or so are wearing a bolo tie. So, which direction are you guys headed in?
I mean, if we're going to my manor, I assumed we're going whichever direction that one's in.
Sure.
But I'm not sure if we're heading there or to the other one. To Kara's.
You're the other one, Kara.
Yes.
Not deserving of a name.
Oh, we were gonna set Jethro up first.
I was trying to think of her last name, and then I remembered it now after remembering my first name.
All right, so the party is heading over to the Masverics.
I assume so.
Sure. So after a while, you do manage to get in. You manage to pass through the lower tier nobles area and do get into your own separate section of the city. After some riding, about a good 45 minutes from where you guys are. Captain Moroth's fucking huge, guys. From where you guys entered, you do manage to ride up on a very large manor on a hill. It is on a hill, which does make it stand out from the other manors that are around. But other than that, it's about the same size, same ornate gates. There's a little bit less gilding on the front of the gates, which shows the Masveric crest on there. You guys do notice that there is no servant at the gates to open. If I say gates one more time, I'm going to kill myself. To open them up for you guys.
Would I know if that's a usual thing at my estate or not?
So typically there is someone there. James, if you get the feeling that if James had known personally that you were coming, he would have been at the gates to open them up. But you've been gone for a while.
Yeah. Well, I have a stables within the manor as well, correct?
Absolutely. Every noble family does.
Yeah. I'll just open the gates up for us and start taking us over towards the stables.
Sure. So you guys start riding towards the stables. These are immaculate grounds that are kept closely clipped. There are bushes carved out into different ornate shapes. You see swans, dogs, one's in the shape of a griffin, as fancy shapes as you could imagine. You do see there are some servants walking along. Some are trimming the bush carvings. Others are trimming trees. None seem to particularly take an interest in you. And then you get to the stables, where it's oddly enough, the stables they're usually open at this time of day is on, so the horses can go out and kind of wander around. They are not open. They are closed.
Well, I guess we need to open these up, and I'll begrudgingly do it myself.
I'll lend you a hand. Seems
normally like this.
Yeah, I gotta say, it's a bit more humble than I would have thought. I figured there'd be like servants all over the place, like, opening the doors, carrying your horses here on some sort of gilded contraption.
We're not helpless. We do things ourselves. Though normally these are open. It doesn't matter. Just open up the stables.
So when you guys open up the stables, the first thing that hits you is the smell of blood. It hangs thickly in the air. When you look around, you notice there are no horses. There's no bodies, but there's quite a bit of blood across, like splattered around on the hay-covered floor and on a few of the stalls where the horses were.
Yeah, close the doors back up.
I like how we open the door. Nope.
Is it like heavy enough to like waft out of there when he opened this?
It is. It feels like these doors have been shut for a little bit, so the smell really hasn't had anywhere to go. So it's just been kind of sitting there.
Why does your barn smell like a butcher house?
If I knew, I would have not brought you here. We need to find James. Let's tie the horses to a pedestal or something for now. Or let them roam the grounds. It doesn't matter. They're not going anywhere.
Can I try and like keep it like try and listen for like any sort of like noise coming from the house side, like birds or like is it like that eerily quiet sort of feeling?
Sure. I mean, are you making a full perception check, or are you just asking what you just hear off?
Yeah, I kind of just absentmindedly like hand my reins over towards Zahn and kind of just let them go as I start walking a little bit.
Sure. So yeah, go ahead and make a perception check for me. Shit, I keep forgetting I need to be on this page.
It's a 20, Morgan.
Yeah.
Yeah, 20 is good. So the birds are normal. Everything seems normal, and then you start to hear something coming from the back of the barn, like back of the stables. It sounds like you hear the wood creaking as if another door is being opened.
Like inside the stable, or
Yeah.
like.
Well, I mean, you hear it more from the back, since you guys are kind of headed. Like, here's the front of the stables. You guys are kind of headed this way. You hear it coming from the back of the stables.
I'm gonna walk over to the horse and, assuming it hasn't wandered off, I'm gonna pull off the axe of mine,
Sure.
throw his back, and start heading towards the back of the barn.
All right. So he's heading towards the back of the barn, brandishing his axe. What's everyone else doing?
I assumed I would not have seen any of this because I'd be walking in the opposite direction while he just let go of his horse.
Do any of us see him walking away?
He's not being hidden. Would your characters have seen him?
There
I'm
any
not
place?
being stealthy about it.
Stealthy. We probably
Is there any
would've
place to
seen you.
secure the horses, like outside the stable, or?
You see, there are what look to be wooden posts where you can tie your horse to, and there you do see like just around. You kind of see the occasional horse walking around with no saddle or bridle, anything like that.
I'll get off my horse, quickly just tie it to one of the nearby spots.
Sure. Go ahead and make a quick investigation check for me.
Investigation.
Yeah, this wood seems a little bit more solid than wood normally is, but in that it's perfectly normal.
Okay. And then I'm going to follow
Cool.
our axe-wielding ally.
Domikos is following the axe-wielding ally.
I'm gonna
Zahn-
follow you.
Gotcha.
I'm going
Zahn-
towards the nearest servant and just sort of
We're all
calling
just-
out to them.
Abandoning.
Excuse
him.
me.
Gotcha. So leading horses, Zahn is walking towards the servant. You know what? We're gonna stick with Zahn, and we'll get to you guys in a
Sure.
second. So Zahn walks up, and the servant goes, "Oh, Master Mesmeric, we weren't expecting you back so quickly."
I know you weren't. It's fine. Why is the stables closed? And what's...
Oh, right. You didn't hear. James said there was an incident.
An incident?
Yeah.
All right. Please mind these horses for a bit, and if you could send someone for James, we'll be out here for a moment.
You didn't see him?
Where? I haven't seen him. Where is he?
He said he was taking care of the incident.
Then he is most likely in the stables. All right, I will be back. Where they must have all went. Please just tend to these horses for a moment.
Yes, sir. He takes the bridles and starts to walk off to nearest feeding post for horses, except for Damocos's, which is tied closer to the stables. So
head over to the stables because they all left me.
Zon's headed to the stables. So you guys all go around back, where you come closer. The barn back door to the barn is open, and you hear what sounds like a sailor song coming from inside of the barn.
Would this part of the barn have been like visible from where Zon had opened it?
You guys really didn't take a good look inside, but since it's really just kind of like a straightforward barn, you'd assume so.
Okay. That will probably make me a little concerned because it's like, just if you didn't see this guy in there, then like just on edge. So Yovin's gonna just walk towards the door, and before he goes in, he's gonna look behind him to make sure that nobody's like sneaking up on him.
You see two people standing directly behind you.
Okay. Something next time.
Thought you were more perceptive than that.
Look, there's someone in there. And a little bit creepy with all the blood smell hanging around and stuff. So I'm going to go look at what's in there. And hopefully it's not bad news.
Question. Where's Jethro?
Jethro is with Zon.
Okay. Just making sure.
So we'll be right behind you.
Pull out a dagger from my bag of infant daggers.
So, Yovin, are you peeking inside, or are you trying to be stealthy? What are you trying to do?
I'm gonna try to be stealthy. I'm gonna try and hang like with my back against the outer wall, kind of like try to push the door open with my left hand, keep my axe in my right hand kind of tucked out of view.
Sure. So make a stealth check for me. As far as you can tell, you're being creepy, stealthy.
Both.
A little bit of both. You do see a very large shape in the light that's coming in from this open door. You do see a very large shape in the middle, and looks like they're like messing with the floor a little bit. Can't tell exactly what they're doing because they're mostly in the darkness.
How large is this figure? Like,
they're hunched over, so it's kind of hard to tell. They're just wide.
And they're like got this sort of sailor song going.
Yeah, you can hear. It's about sailor song. It's not about nice things.
I'm going to look back to the others.
And at this point, Zon does manage to join them.
What are you doing sneaking around my stables for?
There's someone in there.
I know that.
Then why did he just say anything?
Well, I know that now, but why are you rushing off into a blood-filled stable without any information first?
Because I heard there was someone in there. I heard the back door open.
So were you just gonna slaughter the person inside?
I was going to actually ask if either of you knew what James looked
good
like.
Lord.
Because
James! Hello?
Miss Burke?
Yes, it is I.
Joven, you see the figure kind of stand up, and say they're a mountain of a man would be one thing if he wasn't a earth element, like an earth genasi.
Obsidian.
Thank you. Yeah, he is dark obsidian skin. He has a light brown tunic that's kind of rolled up at the sleeves. He is wearing a white apron that is a little bit bloody. And he does also have a rag covering the top part of his head and a little like makeshift mask over his nose and mouth. He drops his sack full of bloody hay on the ground, starts to head out. Well, I didn't know you were coming back so quickly. He's going to look
I
at the
didn't
axe.
think so either.
Put that away.
Yes, please.
yeah. Joven's gonna just lower the axe down and put it against the wall, like not holding it.
Yes, sorry that there was an incident here, and I've been cleaning up some messes.
Yes. I'd also like to.
Who are you
apologize.
again?
Yes, please. This is Joven. He's not from this country.
I could tell.
You may know Karl Ude from the Ude family and Damokos of the Grey Castle.
Right. I do recognize the airs. So we didn't do the job then.
No, I decided against it. Was not appropriate.
I told you didn't have the heart to go through with it.
Now's not the time for I told you so's. Please explain the incident to me.
Right. So, some people thought your hands and look around. Father was going to go out for his normal ride, and so they came in and laid a little bit of an ambush. And I got to them first.
Typical. All right. Either way. Why don't you finish up? I'm going to take them inside and set them up for a bit, I guess, until you're finished.
Excellent. Shouldn't be much longer.
So thank you.
Absolutely.
I will see you inside, James.
He nods, gives one more look to Joven, and then goes back to finish cleaning up the bloody hay.
I'll start leaving the stables.
I'm gonna follow Zahn. Picking.
I will also follow.
And just, I'm gonna wait till I think we're at least out of earshot of the stables, and just be like, "Yep, butler just say he killed a bunch of would-be assassins."
Have we not explained this to you about Morothian society and the assassinations that take place on almost a daily basis?
No, not quite. Not really getting the point across, like a visual aid like that.
Well, now you know. On almost a daily basis, people are trying to kill nobles to gain their power and fortune and such and such.
I am very glad I did not pick a fight with that man.
Well, I am very glad you didn't either, because he would have killed you.
Yeah, I kind of get the impression.
Anyways, please come inside.
So there is a servant this time at the front door, which is a grand tree that's been painted multiple different colors, showing different gods and people worshiping them. The servant pushes open the doors, revealing an exquisite opening hall that looks more like a museum with all the busts and paintings that are on the walls, with a large carpet in the middle of the stone walkway. No barking.
Well, I'm just going to turn to the servant and Jethro. Jethro, what do you want to do now that you're here?
She looks panicked, like she never really thought that she would get here. I don't know.
Well, you'll be safe among the grounds, especially with that dagger you've been handed. You'll be invisible to anyone searching for you. And we always look for more hands and we pay well.
So what do I do?
Well, if you're okay with cooking and cleaning, you could help with the typical staff, or you could survey the grounds, or James could teach you a few things. It's up to you. There's many jobs that could be done around the house.
James was the boulder man, yes?
Yes, that was James.
I think I will go to the kitchens.
All right. I'll turn the servant. Show Jethro here to the kitchens and have her speak to whoever's in charge at the moment. Have James learn about her, please.
Yes, sir. He leads her away, and they disappear down one of the doorways in the hallway.
All right. Would you all like some lodgings?
That would be nice. Yes.
I'm going to head upstairs to any of the extra rooms that I know of, because there are
You have a
many.
lot.
Pick one on the floor. It's yours.
So you do have a variety of open rooms that you could give them across the manor. You guys do notice that there are a few servants like walking behind you, ready to get in the room and prep it. Whichever ones you guys choose.
Anyone in particular catches your eyes, let me know and I will let you in. There's everything from strange bust room to strange doll room to strange musical instrument room. My mother was a collector of things, and sometimes they are a little outlandish. But they don't do anything else, so why not put them in the rooms?
That's all right.
I'm assuming I can stay at my own house, right?
Yeah, you don't have to stay here.
Yeah.
God,
You don't want doll
You
room?
must
I
stay
don't want
with
to stay in
Zahn.
any of the weird collection rooms.
I'm sure they have a dagger room. You'll feel right.
I'm sure Alexander would love to be in the musical instrument room, though.
Alexander probably loves being in this manor right now. I'm gonna check my backpack actually.
You do not find Alexander in your backpack.
Close my backpack.
We also have a collection of many books and libraries and people that might interest those who might not know everything about magic.
Oh, me?
Yes, of course. Who else would I mean?
Pregnant pause.
This is why I'm staying at my own house.
I mean, it's a lot of hospitality you're showing, just putting us up for some rooms. Whatever room you feel like tossing me in, I won't object.
Maybe there's a strange
Just
act
whichever
room for
one
you.
we're just passing, I'll turn to a servant. Please prepare this room for Mr. Joven here.
The rug room? He's gonna look at the axe.
Sure, why not?
Yes, sir. He's
Thank
gonna lean
you.
over. He's gonna lean over to a servant. Make sure to get all the expensive rugs out. And they're gonna go in and start tidying up the room. After a few moments, you do see them carrying out some of the more expensive and beautifully made rugs.
Your mom collected rugs.
She collected a lot of different things.
I figured, but rugs.
I mean, does it matter? We had the money for it.
I guess not.
One person's hobby. Yada yada yada.
So, the servants are busy prepping the rug room for Yobin.
I know it is rather early in the day, but if you have anything else that you'd like to do among my grounds, you are welcome to it. What mine is yours. Yada yada yada.
Sir,
Thank
the voice of James comes out from behind you guys. Your father did want to see you as soon as you came back.
I know, I just wished to get these fellows all set up and ready before we did any of that.
Of course, sir.
So anything you wish to do in the meantime, while I go have a conversation?
Honestly, I feel like I would be imposing if I did. I think I'll just head in my room with the rug room.
As you wish. Just call for a servant and they will help you.
I'll just really be down in the initial waiting area, looking at some of the pieces on display while I wait for you.
As you wish. Like I said, anything you wish to do. You're more than willing to take full advantage of everything on the ground here.
Thank you.
All right. So James nods to each of you and then starts to walk towards another staircase leading up to the third floor.
I am walking along with him.
Excellent. So you and James go to your parents' bedroom.
Well, after we get out of earshot, I'm going to have a small conversation with him as we're walking.
Sure.
So I assume you were told already, but I brought another worker.
Yes, a drow.
Yes.
Interesting what things you can find on a journey.
Of course. She's quite adept. Well, she has an inkling for magic. Not sure if you could find use for her further from just the kitchens, but
I will speak with her. We will discuss her future here.
thank you. Other than that, how goes the homestead? The business side of things.
The business is running smoothly. There was a hiccup where an investor was demanding to see your parents, but after a discussion, he realized that I was a perfect representative of the family while you were away.
I hope there was no harming involved.
No, just a nice, pleasant discussion.
All right. There was a problem with our shepherd.
Really?
Yes.
Eric didn't turn out to be the best shepherd.
Turned out to be the only shepherd.
Look, I should have mentioned that shepherds was a misnomer, and I apologize.
No, it's not your fault. It's more... I wish I would have met him before you decided to use him.
We were desperate.
I understand. I fully understand your reasoning for it. It's just... I have relinquished him of his services for now. I wish to find someone else.
Interesting.
I know we are still desperate, but I have some goods that may be able to hold us off until we find someone. And I was in contact with a few people who may be able to help us.
Wait. You didn't happen to be... I hope you know what you're doing, sir.
I hope I know what I'm doing too. But we can only do the right thing every step of the way. Or so we believe, at least at the time.
Yes. All right. Are you ready to see them?
Yes.
So I've been doing what I can to stave off the growth, but as you know, it's a difficult issue to treat. He pushes open the door. Almost immediately, like you're hit by waves of heat as the room is, its fireplace is on. There's multiple small fires set up inside the room to keep it at a extremely hot temperature. They are... It's not looking good, sir.
Has it ever looked good?
Before. I'll make sure no one intrudes.
Yeah. Please.
So he pulls the door shut, and outside you can hear him settling into position right outside the door on the other side.
I'm going to take my small handkerchief out and tie it around my mouth and make sure my gloves are on firmly, or take off my gauntlets and put on a separate pair of gloves.
Right.
And I will hesitantly walk over towards his bed.
So your parents are in the bed. They are freezing cold to the touch. They are freezing cold to the touch, even in this extremely hot room, but they're also sweating at the same time. Their bodies are shrinking from either the disease or from malnutrition. You can tell that the graying waste is slowly crawling up. It's made it past their fingertips on their hands and is slowly going towards the first knuckle. You can't tell how far it's progressed from their feet, but James is right. It's not looking good. It's a miracle they've been able to hold on this long.
Mom, Dad, I'm back. Is there any response out of them?
Your parents kind of shift a little bit, but there's no verbal response. Before you left, the sickness had started to take their voices, and they were having a difficult time focusing on you.
I don't know if you can even understand me anymore. But I'm still trying. You don't deserve this. Anyone out there, as much as you want to believe it that they don't deserve this, they deserve it much worse than you. So I'll keep protecting you until there's no one left to protect. I'm not gonna let you waste away. Get up and leave.
All right. So you leave, and James looks at you and nods. Perhaps we should go check on the guests. I don't trust that. Not to question you, but you let a werewolf into the house.
I know.
All right.
All quite dangerous, but we're a little bit all caught up in the same problem right now. Sort of divine intervention. I'm not sure how I'm going to handle it just yet, but I can't exactly let them out of my sight at the moment.
Understood. Shall I have a servant prepare this study for another night?
Please. For now.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna take out the bag of holding too. I know Eric isn't exactly here anymore, but I did manage to gather a large number of his things. I'm not sure if you could work out how they can be used to at least stave off a bit of what he was doing in the meantime while we search for a better source of something.
I've gotten quite good at deciphering his madness over the years. I suspect I shall figure something out.
That would be helpful. Even if you could decipher what his formula is, so that we could outsource an alchemist or something. And we could do it ourselves. That would be much more advantageous to whatever the hell he thought he was doing.
I will do my best.
Thank you.
Just as a warning, I believe I may be mistaken, but I do believe I saw the hand on the floor.
Jesus Christ.
Shall I hunt for it myself, or is it one of your companions?
It's one of our companions. However, it does have a sticky fingers sort of mindset to it.
Accidentally step on it. Understood.
No, don't harm the creature. Just capture it, do something, and give it back to the old day.
If it has taken anything.
Well, yes. Do something about keeping anything it takes and giving it back, but just give it back to Old Day and I will have a talking with her once it's captured.
Understood. Yes. Very well. I believe your companion was in the main hall. And with that, we're going to hop over to everyone else. So Damikos is heading towards the main hall to examine some of the artifacts. Yovin was going into his room, which is filled with rugs. And there's a massive rug on the floor. The bed has one of those things that have like the sheets on all sides, like the mosquito netting, except it's clearly made out of rugs. Beautiful rugs, but for a theme, yes, thank you, rug canopy. It kind of hits you over the head and then some with the theme. I mean, the goddamn curtains themselves are made out of rugs.
Yeah. I was about to say, can I go over to the rug curtains and open them a little bit to get some sunlight?
So you open the rug curtains and you find that the window is indeed like it's almost shuttered shut on the outside, but if you were to lift open the window, you could easily open up the shutters.
That's fine. I just wanted some natural light in here.
You are unable to get like what natural light in there is just tiny little like
Oh.
lights.
Oh, it's that kind of.
Yeah.
Oh. Uh I don't want to touch that at the moment. I don't want to do things that would make me get on James' bad side after knowing he could probably snap me in two. So I'm kind of gonna go over to the carpet canopy. Just sit down there, put my axe on the, I guess, on the nice rug on the ground.
The servants that are inside of this room look at the axe, then look at you with a mixture of horror and disgust, and then continue carting out rugs.
I just give a nod and just like a half-hearted wave. Sit there. Honestly, I was hoping there wouldn't be other people in here, so but I'll wait for them to finish.
It's going to be a while. They have quite a few rugs to take out. Like there are some rugs that are just kind of rolled up and leaned up against the corner. This place has rugs just everywhere that they are picking up and trying to make this spot a little bit more livable for you.
Getting the sense of that, I'm going to try and. I remember Damico said he'd be in the lobby, so I guess I'll wait there for them to finish.
Sure. So you get up and start heading down to the lobby. Damikos, you are in the lobby currently. What are you doing?
Just looking around, taking in, the mesmeric home. Just, being
Snoop?
being as respectful as possible. Because it's a main lobby area.
Right.
While waiting for Zahn to return.
So there, you notice that a lot of the busts are made out of marble, and the paintings do seem to be of his family a few generations back. However, when it comes up to a picture of where normally a picture of Zahn and his parents would be, that picture is taken down.
Interesting. It might just still be in the process of being made fully. Or some other reason. That's why I say to myself, just continue looking, admiring the sculptures of marble.
Gotcha. Okay, make a quick investigation check for me. So you're looking at these marble pieces when you notice that the head on one is kind of off kilter a little bit.
Is there
It's
Is
of
there,
an older woman. Her hair is pulled back into a braid, and she has a very stern look in her eyes, as if she knows that you're like not supposed to be in this house.
Hmm.
Like knows for a fact. Doesn't
gotcha,
really matter if you are allowed or not.
gotcha. Is there like a plaque or a placard or something that tells
No.
me what? Okay, it's just sculpture. I'm just gonna stay being respectful. I'll make a note of it and maybe, tell Zahn about it if it's supposed to not have the tilted tilted head or something.
Gotcha. Okay. So after a few minutes, Joven comes down and joins you, and we're gonna hop on over to Kara. Kara, what are you doing as the group splits up?
I'm probably just gonna wander the halls looking for Alexander.
Cool. So, go ahead and make an investigation check to try and see if you can find tracks of where he went.
Oh, this goddamn hand. Nope.
So you're looking around. Although the carpeting is plush, you're not seeing any tracks of him moving, and you, for some reason, aren't hearing him doing his spy hum in your head.
God damn it. I'm gonna go outside.
Okay, cool. So you go outside, passing by Damokos, who is kind of admiring some of the paintings and statues. And look around, you see some servants that are taking care of the horses. Some servants starting to round up horses and bring them towards the barn. The servants are tending to the yards, what have you.
This goddamn hand.
I'm sorry, ma'am. Did you say you needed a hand? Like smaller, like stable boy comes walking up with a horse.
No, I'm perfectly fine, thanks. I'm just getting some air.
Understood.
Is there a way to just like project and talk to him? Where the fuck are you? Where
Yeah, I mean, you got a telekinetic connection with him.
the fuck are you?
You see the face of a dead person with curly hair and the pinkest dress you've ever seen in your life. Their eyes are glassy and devoid of life.
Oh my god, did you kill someone?
There's no response.
Is there anything like around, like on the ground or whatever, that might tell me where he is?
Make a quick perception check.
God damn it. I cannot go to jail. 21.
21. So, judging from what he sent you, it doesn't seem like it would be outside. You guys definitely would have seen or at least heard something about a dead body being outside. And from what James said, it sounds like there was only dead bodies inside of there. And you don't get the feeling that servants would wear a dress this fine nor pink.
Oh god damn it, is he in the doll room? I'm gonna look for the creepy doll room Zahn had mentioned.
Are you going to look for it on your own, or are you going to ask a servant?
I will ask a servant because it's gonna take me too long to look for it by myself.
Sure. So you go up to the nearest servant, who happens to be carrying a rug and muttering to herself. Oh, yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry. Zahn had mentioned something about a creepy doll room, and I thought that was very interesting. I kind of wanted to know where it is, if that's okay.
Oh, yes. I can show you where that is. All right. And she is going to still be carrying the rug and walk back up the stairs to the third floor, where she takes a left. You see, James is, and he looks over and kind of like makes eye contact with her, and then kind of goes back to looking around. You guys go to the left, walk down some doors, and she gestures to a door that has a red tag on the door handle.
Why is it tagged?
We try to not be in this room, so we tag it, and on whichever day it's been cleaned, it gets that color tag, and we wait about a week to clean it again because of the interesting dolls inside.
Is it haunted?
I didn't say that.
Oh my god. All right, thank you. I'm so sorry about this.
She nods and kind of steps back. You can go in, but I'm going to have to escort you down.
I'm gonna open the door and see if my hand is in there.
So the first thing that hits you is the dozens of glassy-eyed stares. There's some dolls on swings from the ceiling, a ton of dolls on the bed, on chests, sitting on the floor. There is a dollhouse that stands about 4 feet tall that has dolls filling each room, and all of their heads are pointed at the door.
I am so glad I'm sleeping at my own house. Is Alexander in here? Can I check?
Make a quick perception check.
God damn it. If he is not in here. 4. Why?
So you don't see Alexander in the room.
Of course I don't. He's stealthy as fuck. I'm going to use my telepathic link and I'm going to tell him, I swear to God, if you're in this room, you better get in my fucking backpack right now.
What you get in response is an image of you standing in the doorway, and your eyes are wide. You're a little paler than normal. You look nervous, looking at this, quite honestly, army of dolls that is staring at you back.
I hate this place. I'm going to check my backpack.
You don't see him in your backpack. But then you hear a rustle come from the bed.
Is it dark in this room?
It's a little dark. Yes.
Cast light.
So you cast light, and this doll slowly begins to sit up from the bed. Covers like falling off of it.
Okay, close the door.
After a moment, you hear a scritch at the door.
You little shit.
And you hear the sound of laughing in your head.
I'm going to open the door enough that he can get out.
So you open the door enough, and the hand skitters up, and the maid goes, we should probably leave.
And close the door.
So, and she turns to escort you down, and that's when you two notice James and Zahn are standing at the head of the stairs, and both are kind of looking at you two. What were you doing in the doll room?
I'm actually curious myself why you were so interested. Weren't you interested before?
It sounded creepy. I didn't believe you. I believe you now, and I don't like it.
Well, it's not like I lie all the time, so I'm not sure why you would think otherwise.
So, He's gonna look at the maid and kind of like shake his head a little bit. Shall we go downstairs? And a voice that tells you it's not quite as much of an invitation as he's making it sound.
The man could probably throw me. I don't have a choice.
Did you find your pet?
He's been in my backpack this whole time.
Sure.
Oh. Oh, now I know who you are. Yes. Makes sense. You first, please.
Sorry?
Well, you would go first, going down the stairs before us.
This house is filled with assholes, apparently. Walk
Welcome to
down
the
the stairs. Now I know where he gets his professional offending skills from.
So the group joins back together in the lobby with the statues and paintings. James excuses himself and then heads off to the kitchens.
All right. Well, Jovan, you'll be staying with us for the night. The rest of you. What do you plan to do?
I'm going home. Your fucking house is haunted.
No.
Oh no, Zon, there is a marble statue with kind of a tilted head that seems like it's been watching me while I've been in here this whole time.
Would I know anything about those?
Yeah, it's your great aunt, and she doesn't like anyone who's not in the family, and she's not too fond of you.
I think I know which one you're talking about.
Oh, that one right there. I point to it.
Is it looking at us right now?
Make a fucking insight check.
This will be funny.
Statues can't look at people, right?
Yeah, totally.
Oh,
You look at that statue and it seems to be looking right back at you.
Mhm.
If its mouth could move, it'd be mouthing the words "Get out of my house."
It might be my great aunt,
yeah.
who didn't exactly make a good headshot for her bust there, and it is a little on the angry side, I guess.
Fair.
Either way, two of you, if you... I don't know what we're doing at this moment, so...
Well, I want to make sure that Kara gets back to her place, help her out with anything if need be, and then go off and possibly visit my home.
All right. Is it something you'd like help with, or no?
More than welcome to come along. Don't think anything. I know the Great Castles don't, well, when I left, don't have any beef with the old days. Would I know if they have any beef with the Mesverics?
So, roll a quick history check for me.
I should probably do that too.
Yeah, go ahead. So Zon,
You know,
outside
let's
of-
make that my 20 because I still have
Fair
that.
enough. All right. So, to both of y'all's knowledge, there's no direct beef beyond the "I would kill you to get ahead" kind of style that everyone in Moroth lives in. In fact, some would say they're the two families are not friends, but definitely acquaintances. Like they work adjacent to each other. They wouldn't leave the room if the other one was in it. Kind of thing.
Okay.
They're not friends, but they're not enemies.
They're frenemies.
It's like Moroth in a nutshell, I think.
You'd be surprised. So,
yes, yeah, you're more than welcome to come along if you wish.
I might take you up on that offer.
Too stuffy in the rug room.
The windows are shuttered closed, and I don't want to open them because I don't know if I should. And if I do, if James might, have a problem with that. I'll be honest, your butler terrifies me.
I don't know what else to tell you.
Welcome to the
Protects our
Mesvericom.
house. Protects our house, and I mean, what else do you want from me?
I mean, probably a great man. Very intimidating. That's
As he
probably
should
part
be.
of his job.
all right. So, how many people are going to the old days?
I guess we're all going.
Everyone's
I-
going?
I want to see what the old days house is.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
James, I'm leaving for the night. I will be back before the sun is back in the sky.
there's no response, but you know that one of the servants will bring that message to James.
Of course.
So, are you guys bringing your horses or no?
Probably should if we're going around Moroth.
Yeah, I guess.
So, you guys are riding. You get your horses. One of the servants leads the horses to you, and then another one opens the gates and closes them after you. And you guys start riding.
I'm gonna re-up alter self because it's probably run out by now, just
Yeah.
to cover that tattoo and change the hair,
Gotcha.
not be out of fashion.
So it's after riding for about 10 minutes, you guys start to hear cheerful, bright music coming from an alleyway that you guys are coming up on. Do you guys investigate, or do you keep riding? The tune goes like da 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 da.
Nope.
You know.
The last time we invested in alleyway, I kicked a beehive.
Nah.
It's clearly not that same fairy dragon either.
I
Nope,
know
it's
better than
worse.
to just
It's
walk
probably
down
much
random
worse.
alleys and more.
This city's huge. I'll get lost in a second if I don't keep these guys in my sight.
Fair enough. So you guys continue riding on your way, ignoring the musical side quest off in an alleyway. So you guys do come up to Car's home. It's a nice. On first glance, it looks to be more of a more modest mansion, but while it's not on a hill, it does have, instead of being one very large house, it seems to be multiple homes some 2, some 3 stories, gathered together with a large pathway leading up and then branching off into each house. There are some servants. It's yard is filled with more trees than bushes, and there's a small man-made lake that one of the servants is currently putting fish into, kind of like refishing the lake.
Is that a normal Moroth thing?
A normal Moroth thing.
I am point over to the guy who's apparently refilling the lake with fish.
Yeah.
I do not like this country.
They don't. They don't reproduce faster than they die, Yovan. God. Leave the fish alone. You already insulted Alex.
Yeah, I guess that is true. You know what? Very fair. I will be on my best behavior.
I hope so, because God, my mom's gonna tear into you otherwise.
So, as you guys are riding up, there are 2 servants at the gates. They both pull them open as you guys ride through, and one of them just dead ass sprints towards the house to try and get ahead of the horses as you guys are just kind of walking up, and the other servant closes the 2 gates.
Trying to decide how much of a dick I want to be.
Fireball!
Don't set my trees on fire!
No, I was just considering, like, I want to spur the horse on to just like keep pace with the guy riding. I won't do that. I won't do that.
So, as you guys are riding up, you see the servant kind of like, he kind of slows down, does that whole like kind of loping walk you get after running extremely quickly for a short period of time, opens the door to one of the homes, shouts something into it, and kind of sinks into a bench by the door and starts just breathing heavily. The door opens, and out walks a figure that's still a little bit too far away from you guys to notice, but Kara, throw an insight check just from him walking up to where you guys are riding.
Oh boy, okay. And where the fuck did there it is?
Where did insight go?
Well, I'd lost my sheet. And I only
it's been
found
too
spells.
long, and you don't recognize the figure as they're getting closer until you guys meet about halfway. You recognize the half-orc with graying hair that's been kind of like cut extremely short to the temple. He is dressed in the yellow shirt with flowers, has a bolo tie that he looks extremely uncomfortable in, and about thigh-high like black boots. Ah, yes. Welcome home, Karina. If you would dismount your horses, servants will take them to our stables.
I know who this is, but Kara's had quite a year. And slide off my horse.
Get off my horse.
I'll follow suit.
I've already gotten off my horse before anybody else has because I know it's happening.
He snaps twice, and the servants come up, take the horses, and lead them off into an unseen stables. So, I see you've brought guests to our home. And a werewolf.
I'm not a werewolf. Common misconception.
I'm sorry. Lupine. right? Lichen. That's the word. I apologize. Lichen into our home.
He's not a werewolf.
Right. Frederick has made me fully aware that werewolf is a derogatory term.
It's not that. He's not. He's not. Oh, of course.
Oh God.
Frederick
He's not
is
a
so
lycanthrope.
woke.
He's not a lycanthrope at all. This is Joven. He's
Howdy.
from Cal. Gonna point to Damakos Grey Castle, and then wherever Zahn is, and Zahn Masverick.
Yes. Aren't you going to introduce me?
Oh
You're
no!
not very good at this nobles thing, are you?
And then, do you say that out loud?
Yes.
Oh no!
Remember the unprofessional burning
And
of the mesmerics.
I'm gonna turn around and look at him. You can go home if you want to.
I mean, no disrespect. I'm only pointing out the obvious.
I know who he is, but Kara doesn't remember.
Fine. I am Wendell. I am the servant to Camille and acting as head servant in temporary terms.
Where's Raya?
She's taken a leave of absence.
Oh. Did she say what?
I try not to pry into private matters. She should be back soon. She left shortly after you yourself left.
That explains why she hasn't been answering my letters. And Cass, I assume, is still out.
Yes, although according to his correspondence, he should be back within the next week or so.
Good to know. I assume Frederick is home. Are my parents in?
They actually just went out.
That's fine. Look at the group. So no one's here. My family's not in. We can always come back later because I feel like them trickling in is going to be weird to have introductions multiple times over and over again.
Or we could stand there while you wait to introduce them and make them think that you've forgotten them.
A lot has happened. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sure.
Ugh.
I don't exactly like your tone.
Boy.
Aren't you a servant of the old days?
I am, but I have raised her from when she was a little girl, so...
Oh, I'm sure. It's just you're speaking to her if she's not the one paying your salary.
She is not, actually.
But her family is.
True, but she is not. Which family did you say you were with again?
The Masverics.
Ah, yes, Masverics.
I am so sorry. He has been like this the entire time I've known him, and traveling with him for long stretches of time. Extremely annoying.
It's a very lovely home.
Yes, it is quite beautiful. The servants do a good job of taking care of the place.
Yeah, my compliments too.
Your compliments to whom? The servants? You can tell them yourself. Or would you like to compliment the heads of the house who are not here?
Oh God.
I'm having a joke. I'll let them know.
Whew. Thank you.
Jeez.
Yo, it was just. Whew, sorry. You got me good.
Actually, young Jovin, right? If you could follow me for a moment.
Oh.
He's going to start walking off towards one of the homes.
He's telling me he's not just gonna put him in like a doghouse.
I look back at Car for a second.
It's a lichen
following.
house.
Do I know what that house is for?
It seems to be what you would remember as Cass's house.
Okay. It's a little weird. I'm gonna follow him.
Yeah,
I assume we're all going.
Yeah.
God.
It's very rude for a servant to just walk off without saying anything.
Can you just like not?
I mean, I'm not saying that out loud. I'm just saying
I'm still saying
as
that
what
to
I'm
you
thinking
anyway.
in my head.
I'm leaving my accent with my horse because that was a bit of a faux pas last time. So I want to make a good impression.
I don't know what you mean. I'm just acting how I was told to act. When servants act out, when servants act, he was being rude.
Okay, this is not your house.
Yes,
and they are
but he
not
serves
your
you.
servants.
I know, but he serves you, and he was being rude to you.
And I do not need you to defend me to people that work in our house that I consider family. You've seen Vedrick Rippin. This is
Vedrick
how my
what?
family is. You've just seen the way Vedrick is. My family's just kind of like this.
Fine, I will keep out of it if it is up to your wishes, but just let you know I don't appreciate when servants talk down to their nobles.
They're still people.
Yes.
They're allowed to have feelings about things. I don't mind if he's being rude. I did forget. I've been away for a little bit.
Fine. All fine. This is your homestead, like you said. I will keep it to myself if you wish.
With that, he turns around. It kind of seems a little bit surprised at everyone coming up. Oh, I wanted to speak to Jovin alone.
All right, I'm gonna go upstairs and like drop my stuff off in my room.
Cool. So
Most of it.
Guess we're following her. Cause...
Oh God.
Well, I'm going into a lobby area if there is one.
Are you just gonna hang out in the foyer the entire time in every house that we go to, including
I'm just
yours?
following her.
Look.
That's what I've been told is appropriate to follow your
I'm sure
guest.
you'll be fine. I'm sure.
So, this is Kara's house. She can describe it how she wants.
I'm just going straight up the stairs to find my room, which is probably covered in a layer of dust.
Actually, no. The servants have been cleaning it. While Raya is not there, servants have been regularly taking care of the room, making sure it gets enough light, watering the plants inside of it, etc.
Oh, good. My plants are alive again. They weren't when I left.
They were not. It took a lot of like dedication to bring them back, but
They have to hire 3 druids.
I will take note not to touch them. I don't want to leave the box unattended in my room. I'm gonna take that, but then drop off just about everything else except the bag of infinite daggers.
All right, cool. So you do have, I mean, I assume you have hidden areas inside of your room.
I probably do, but like hidden
I'm
areas
right
aren't so
there.
hidden in this
I'm
household.
right there.
Yeah, no.
Cool. So
What
as Car's
is-
unpacking,
What is that box?
I've literally always had this box.
I've never seen that box. You haven't. What is it?
He hasn't been here for the whole time.
It is part of the insufferable quest that we've been apparently sent on, and I don't feel comfortable leaving it
What?
out.
Why are you just telling me about this now?
I have pulled it out before, and you never bothered to ask, so...
I don't remember you ever pulling it out in front of me.
If I shake the box, does the sword piece rattle around inside?
no, it is covered. Like the inside is covered with enough velvet, and like it's softened enough that you might hear a slight thud, but it's also in a resting place.
Do you realize
Okay.
I have this, magical bag that hides things away in an almost infinite amount of space, correct?
Your magical bag also broke.
Well, that was under strenuous circumstances with a magical dagger that I don't fully understand yet. Everything else works inside of it.
I feel better keeping it on my person.
I mean, that's fine. It's just it looks like you're trying to hide it somewhere in here when you could just stow it in the bag. I'm in the same boat as you. I don't think you realize that I am not exactly working against you on this quest or anything.
Not everything has to go in the bag.
It's just easier.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. How is it not easier? It's in one place. Hidden
Because
away.
the bag... We do not know for a fact that this thing can't be tracked. So I don't think it really matters where we put it.
I guess you're right.
Also, I like studying it. Just gesturing
Then just
with the box.
keep it in the bag and we'll pull it out whenever you wish to study it.
No.
Or you can hold on to the bag of holding for all I care.
Also, no, I don't.
All right, so while they're having that discussion, when everyone disappears in the Car's house, Wendell looks over at Yovan. Yes, let me take care of this for you. He takes out a small razor blade and kind of tilts your head down towards him and scrapes away at the forehead part of the mask. There, your mask said easy target.
Oh.
I was not sure if you were aware, and I'm sure if anyone else had seen that, they would be, they would have told you or at least gotten rid of it. So I didn't want to embarrass you in front of anybody.
Thank you,
Yes.
Wendell.
I believe they went into her house. over there.
Yes. Thanks. I owe you one.
Oh, don't worry about it. He looks like he wants to say something and then thinks about it and then just goes, yes, in Car's house.
I'm gonna start making my way over there.
Cool. So you come in to the home where Damakos didn't describe the entryway. I imagine it's not ornamented at all. Just kind of like a
Very
hallway.
simple.
What, you mean it's not mithril filigree?
He is a simple person.
Some
of us
kind of
aren't bougie.
standing in the hallway.
I would have asked for a cup of water from one of the.
Oh yeah, no, a servant would have absolutely gotten you a cup of water.
Yeah. I'm just waiting.
It's mostly books
Politely.
in my head. You
I'm
can
just
probably
gonna-
hear us arguing upstairs.
Yeah, it's not quiet.
I'm gonna just start making my way over there casually.
Sure. So you get into the house.
I've actually like
Domicos.
joked into just kind of like, as he's walking, he's just like, "Why didn't any of Zon's people say anything?" Kind of like that. Just kind of stewing on it.
Because it's a house full of assholes.
So you get in and you're kind of standing there with Domikos towards the end of this discussion between Kara and Zon.
Oh, hey, welcome.
Hey there.
It's been quite humorous. You've
Yeah.
riffed out on all that.
I'll be honest, I kind of like Wendell a bit more than James. Apparently, I point to the point where Wendell scratched off. Apparently, this said easy target, and he helped get rid of that.
Oh, really? Well,
Yeah.
sorry, I didn't notice that.
I didn't either. It's fine.
It's like having a kick me sign on your back.
Yeah, except for muggers.
Except it's for muggers and it's on your face.
It's the Moroth equivalent of "kill me now." I'm just visiting.
I am a tourist.
Yeah.
You know, I did buy this from a tourist trap, so it's really on me about that. So, how long have they been at it?
15 minutes.
I don't think it's been that long, but sure, okay.
They're getting along better than I thought they would.
Don't. You're not. I have a bag of infinite daggers.
All right, so everyone's discussions kind of like wind down. You all come down and meet back up together.
Oh, I wasn't finished.
Oh, you weren't finished?
Oh.
No.
Like I said,
No.
15 minutes.
Then continue.
I don't know how long we're staying here because apparently we have been chosen to do whatever the bloody hell we're supposed to be doing, but you could at least agree with something I say every once in a while.
Nah.
Sure.
Quite frankly, I don't find most things you say to be agreeable.
So you're just
also
okay with how we left an entire village to burn to the ground? Or all the people that were harmed because 3 of you decided to do rash things when I told you not to? You're just fine with that?
I'm trying to think of something to say that's not just an insult.
Well, thank you.
No, that wasn't Kara. I do think about the things that I do, quite frankly. I don't know what the fuck you think I'm doing. But I went down there to make sure that Jethro was still alive. Because if she wasn't, Well, we probably wouldn't have needed to go down, but we still would have had to track down that goddamn Goliath.
I understand your reason.
And
All I ask for, especially from you, since you seem to be at least the most put together of the other two, is a little bit of, I don't know, preconceived notions of, forthright thought and not just immediate call to action. Because you might not be able to control what you have, but it's useful and very powerful. And I don't want you to end up like the firebug that we have. Or the not werewolf man who definitely has never lost his temper before. And if we're all in this together, then we need to start at least a little bit being on the same playing field.
so, what did James mean by he knew you wouldn't be able to do it?
You know why I came down there?
Of course.
That's why. I'm not going to kill an innocent. I don't like to fight for anything other than to protect someone else. And trust me, if I had the even inkling of thought that you were going to harm someone else, at least without it being an accident, I would have found a way to get you away from everyone else and ended your life so that I could reap the rewards and protect someone else. But I made the decision on that boat that you are fine. And you at least trusted me enough to tell me what was going on with you.
Trust is a strong word. It was a lot of badgering.
Doesn't matter. I am willing to use strong words. I don't go back.
Apparently.
So please, a little bit on the same playing field, a little bit more trust in my words. Can we agree to that?
I want to know what you're going to use the money for first.
I can discuss that with you at my estate. I can't discuss it here.
Fine. Let's go see if Damakos' family is home, because all of the heads of my family aren't. I'm gonna walk away.
I mean, I'm following right behind her anyways.
So you guys make your way downstairs and see where Jovan and Damakos are no longer speaking, but kind of just standing there. Damakos sipping on his water.
Eating popcorn.
Oh, hey.
Right. Seems like Wendell's the only one that's home besides the other servants. So let's go see if your family's home, Damokos.
Oh, yay.
My parents are out, and so are all my siblings.
Let's go see the Grey Castles. How fun.
Are you sure you even want to see them?
Well, I mean, being that they are family, I feel like I should. Besides, while we were out on the road, I got a letter from my father,
Oh,
Alright.
whom I was under the impression of did not know where I was, but it seems he did.
Alright.
is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I honestly have no idea.
Oh,
Especially given the circumstances behind my finding myself not in Moroth and instead in Kel.
How long have you been away?
Morgan, how long has it been? Thank you. I was trying to add in all the time that we've done so far. A little longer than a little over a year, almost close to 2.
That's not that long. We've been gone about the same length of time.
so I'm guessing you guys probably have a pretty rocky relationship.
It's one way to describe it. 3 older siblings, one of whom is actually descent, the other 2 with their own missions and personalities. Then, of course, as I'm sure you two, Motion to Zahn and Kara. Then there's the heads of the household who have their own agendas for the family.
I had heard your family is a bit busy. It's a bit of
Yes.
extracurricular in between.
Yes, especially when you have 2 sons who are both sorcerers in Moroth,
It makes a lot of sense.
and how Moroth tends to view those who wield magic.
Well, it is up to
So
you if you wish to go.
Well, I feel like I should at least.
Well, if there's nothing left for us here, Kara, let's head on out.
Damokos walks out.
I guess we're
giving the cup to a servant so they can take care of it.
Gotcha.
Just
I
leaving
don't
it
know
on
where
the floor.
kitchen- Yeah.
That's what I would tell you to do.
Even
Someone will pick it up.
So, you each walk out. Wendell is nowhere to be seen. He's presumably somewhere either working with some servants, tending the house, whatever. You are given back your horses, escorted outside, and the gates are shut behind you. After another ride, you start to approach the Grey Castle Manor. The manor is built to look more castle-like in its appearance. It is right across from a small river that kind of separates their property line from another. The yards are another good mixture of shrubbery and small trees. Um, there are some servants wearing the Grey Castle colors, open the gates for you, escort you in, and another one starts to uh, run ahead of you guys to let the main house know that you're coming.
Just kind of look around as we pass through the gate. Take a deep breath as I keep leading them all up towards the manor.
So, you guys approach, riding down the cobblestone path. Eventually, servants come up and take your horses from you, and you're led up to the main home. Doors are pushed open, and there are tapestries hanging from the walls about every 20 or so feet with doorways in between them. There are stairs leading upstairs, stairs leading downstairs. When a servant appears seemingly from nowhere and hands a folded note to Damakos.
I take it, open it.
It says study.
Is that how the
I have a feeling that my parents know I'm with company and they want to speak with me privately.
You gonna be okay?
Unknown, but I certainly hope so.
we got your back in spirit.
And I do the servant and say, please make sure that my friends and companions are comfortable and maybe show them around a bit.
They nod and a gesture for the rest of the group to follow them, and they start walking deeper into the home.
I make my way to the study.
So you climb the three levels of stairs up to the study, where there is a solid oak door with a rope handle that you recognize as the door to the study. You know that your father made it as plain as possible to try and dissuade people from entering.
And I knock on the door.
Enter.
I open the door and go inside.
Your father is busy. He's looking over some documents, kind of waves you over to one of the chairs opposite of the desk, marks down the documents. Your mother's not in the room. One moment. Yes. Welcome home, son.
Thank you, Dad. I was a little surprised when I got your note. The one that I got on the road.
Yes. Well, it was time for you to stop traipsing along the countryside and serve the family.
Wasn't exactly traipsing, but sure.
We will not have this discussion again. So, you refuse to actually assist the family in matters that suit it most. And to be quite frank, we've run out of things for you to do. Things that would occupy your time. You've refused to go to school yourself. No, you did bring your brother to school, which we appreciate. Quite frankly, your refusal to help is getting irritating. Sit, boy.
That's it.
I've heard. I assume you've heard of the Ulday family.
Yes.
So, they are a quite prosperous family, quickly growing in wealth and renown, and perhaps with the right push, could grow ever closer to the throne. Now, how was your travels?
Eventful.
Did you grow?
You could say they were educational.
Fine. Put it simply, you will help this family. And you have two options left to do it. We have a contract to marry you off to the youngest, well, not the youngest, the youngest daughter all day. What's her name? Begins with a K. Doesn't matter. Or you can kill the queen.
Seems that choice is kind of two sharp ends of a dagger, so to speak.
Listen, he stands up. I know that you do not wish to be quite frank, be a member of this family. You've not done what needs to be done to help us. And in fact, one traipsed off into the countryside. I apologize. Went to have learning experiences in an uncultured country. He walks over in front of you and kind of sits on his desk a little bit. So, I'm giving you these options. When you kill the queen, you can choose not to become king. You can give the throne. Simply give it to a member of our family, and then you can leave. Go back to Kel or wherever the hell it is you went to, and have more adventures and some more learning experiences. To be quite frank, you'll be free. Those are your options. I don't expect you to make a decision tonight. He stands back up and walks back to his chair. You can see your way out. Sits back in and starts going over more documents. I do expect an answer within the next 3 days. And keep in mind that this is your last chance.
I will keep that in mind, Dad. I have a question for you before I leave.
Yes.
Do you know why I decided to help my brother get away from the arcane schools of magic in Moroth?
I assumed it was to get him to a better school to help grow the family some more. And if I am wrong, I shall be sorely disappointed. But I suppose no, I don't know. Damokos, why did you take your brother away from the arcane schools of magic within Moroth?
Because those who wield magic in Moroth are used as weapons. My brother had no interest in being one, and neither did I.
Well, soon you'll either be free or someone else's problem. Does this have a point?
It does, because unfortunately, having been the one traipsing off in the countryside, it seems fate has a way of turning you onto a path that you try to stay away from.
Yes, and the broken clock is right twice a day. We can speak in vague isms for as long as you'd rather, but I'd rather not waste my time on such a ridiculous experience. You can make your way out. I expect an answer within 3 days of which decision you're going to make. There's the door. He picks up his pen, his quill, and picks up the paper and starts jotting down documents, although you can tell he's upset. His gestures are quicker and less controlled than normal.
I'm gonna stand up and start to head towards the door. Then I'm going to, without turning around, I'm going to ask him, it's been a while. How's Mother been?
You may sit. He plops his quill back into the inkwell, tosses the papers onto the desk as if he's giving up on the paperwork, gestures back to the chair. She's been well. She is visiting her family and should be back within the next few days.
How about Robert and Persephone?
Well, and there's a knock at the door. Enter. A servant comes in with a tray with a silver top, quickly walks over to your father, kind of like angles themselves so they're in between you and your father. You can hear the tiny scrape of the metal tray being lifted up. The father looks over, pauses, then reaches over, and you can hear something that's glass break in his hand. And then you hear like tiny glass shards hit the tray. He reaches back and starts like cleaning glass out of his hand. No message, just that. The servant nods and backs out of the room. He absentmindedly starts picking little pieces of glass out of his hand and wiping some blood off. Yes, Robert is gallivanting somewhere in the city. He believes he's found another path for the family to go down, and Persephone is well, to be frank, I believe she's with your mother.
Makes sense. Thank you for at least updating me on the family.
The family is number one, son. Nothing comes before the family. You may see your way out.
While before I turn and leave, while still looking at him, Oh, I'm gonna enjoy this way too much. I'm going to reach out to his mind telepathically.
So when you do that, for the first time, you reach out and it's blocked. You cannot connect to his mind.
I'll make a mental note of that and turn around and leave.
Cool. So you head down. Meanwhile, in the less pressure situation, the servant has been leading you deeper within the castle to various rooms, pointing out the living room, pointing out the dining room, pointing out just different rooms in the house, saying very few words in the process, mainly just the names of the rooms. When they lead you downstairs, this is where the hot baths are, in case any of you are wearied and need a bath. There's a natural hot springs that runs underneath this home, and we take full advantage.
Lucky. Such a good idea. Why didn't we think of that?
Zahn quickly takes out a notebook.
He's drafting up invasion plans.
An's gonna marry Damikos.
Oh, man.
How long has it been since we've had a bath?
It's been a few months, honestly, unless you guys have been trying to take a bath in every single town. I mean, last place you guys actually took a bath, like soaking and everything,
Wasn't it
was
Port Town.
Port Town, yeah.
Oh, it has been a month.
Yeah.
Yeah, that might not be a bad idea.
I have baths at my estate. You're staying
I'm sure
at
you
my
do.
estate.
Yeah,
You don't need to take a bath here.
Yeah, but a hot spring though.
So?
I didn't even know springs could be hot. This is amazing.
What?
My help will be able to
Wait.
get the bath hotter than any hot spring available.
Go back. You didn't know springs could be hot?
No, they've all been cold. Where I come from.
Oh, God. It's probably a good thing we didn't run into my parents.
Also, about that, I think it'd probably leave a better impression if we did not, offend.
It would be no offense, and you would just leave your clothes in the designated rooms. While there are separate rooms for men and women, there's the hot spring itself is more of a co-ed area. If you'd like, we can put up privacy shutters, but it is whatever that you wish.
You don't need a bath here. There's
Yeah.
baths at my estate.
It's not good to take a salt bath.
We can fill your bath with salt.
You know what, Cara? Do you want to take up that offer?
They're being hospitable. We might as well.
I think
Gods be damned.
courtesy.
I'm not staying at your
Good.
house, son.
Of course, the men's is to the right, and the women's is to the left. I will inform Master I'll inform the master that you are here. Your clothes will be cleaned and ready for you when you come out.
Fine.
So salty.
I won't like it the entire time.
Oh, just relax a little bit.
No. I
You know-
refuse.
You know,
All right.
Zon, you're providing a great service. Usually you got to pay extra for adding some nice salts to the bath.
I don't.
Oh, I'm gonna go into the changing room while they're bickering about salt.
Absolutely. So what you guys have noticed is inside of each and every single room, including the changing rooms, there's a tapestry covering part of one wall inside of each room. At least a tapestry. So in the women's changing room, there are benches for you to sit on. There's like little alcoves you can put your stuff, and there's a tapestry covering one of the walls.
What does it have on it?
Just various designs of various animals, people, etc.
Oh, part of me feels like that's gonna get moldy, but this is not my house. Get changed and just
It's fancy looking.
drop alter self and head into the hot spring because I'm definitely not wearing the clothes they expect me to be wearing.
Cool. Cars in the hot springs. So are you two continuing to bicker or
No.
going
No.
I'm getting
I'm
out.
getting in the hot springs and I'm not enjoying it at all.
So you three are in the hot
Insight check.
springs. So Domikos, as you're coming out, you notice one of the tapestries rustle, and a servant comes up. Master, they are in the hot springs.
I don't like that. That's
Thank
so
you
freaky.
for letting me know.
And the tapestry flutters again, and they disappear.
Of course, this house is filled with secret passages.
It's a castle. There's
It's a
lots
gray
of
castle.
stuff. The reason why my parents like this place. I make my way down towards the hot springs.
Cool. So you join the group in the hot springs. The hot springs are indeed extremely hot to the point where you feel your muscles relax, loosen up, just almost to that point of being too hot without quite crossing that. And every so often, one of the doors to the changing rooms opens and a servant comes out with goblets of water and places them behind each of you and then disappears into the same changing room door.
Hilva just lets out a contented slide as he just slides all the way beneath the water.
Don't drown. Oh, he's gone.
I'm pouting the entire time.
Stick your head under the water and
No.
not loosen up the muscles in your face.
No. I refuse to enjoy something better that I don't have.
Are you serious?
How deep is this spring anyway?
So you can tell, like at other parts, it gets deeper, but at this specific part, there's been enough rocks and like slabs of stone set up that there are little bench-like areas you can sit down in. It gets a little deeper towards the middle, so that you can kind of like just stand in there and talk. It's set up to be relaxing without actually affecting the flow of the hot water.
That is great. I'm still under the water.
Oh God, Kara's not going anywhere that's too deep because she can't swim. So she's probably
the
staying
most-
to the benches.
The deepest it gets is around 5 feet in the middle.
Yep. Nope.
This
That
is
will
the most,
still cover all of this.
this is the most relaxed Yovin's been in a very, very long time. This is great.
Is Domikos wearing his mask? in the hot springs?
I'm under the impression I haven't arrived yet.
Oh,
As I was
okay.
making my way.
Gotcha. So as like all this is cooling down, Damakos, you've entered in the changing rooms and are changing. Are you wearing your mask into the hot springs?
I mean, probably in the house, so no.
Gotcha.
Because the masks are usually out of the house. Is what I'm guessing.
Okay. So, Damakos joins you guys in the little hot springs river.
How'd it go?
About as well as I expected it to. I was right in that. They had their own agendas.
As people do in Moroth. Even outside of Moroth, actually, now that I think about it.
Yes, it's funny though. I have 3 days to make my decision on this agenda.
You think they're gonna stab you in your sleep?
You know, anything is possible at this point.
Well, 3 days is enough time for me to get my business finished. And then we can go about whatever the hell this creature wants from us.
How long have we been in the baths, by the way?
You guys without Damakos have been in the bath for about 20 minutes.
I hope you haven't been underwater that entire time.
I'm going to emerge out of the water. Just
Soon he cannot
Just-
breathe for 20
just
minutes.
lift
underwater.
my shoulders onto the thing, just fully relaxed, not out of breath or anything. That was relaxing.
You didn't swallow the water, right?
No.
You haven't. Okay. Just making sure.
So yeah, so Jovin's been underwater for about 20 minutes straight.
That's a little horrifying. Just saying.
It's honestly, this is pretty great.
How can you stay underwater for so long?
Oh. I'm really good at holding my breath.
I do not believe you.
You don't-
Check.
All right, that's anyone who wants to insight check that. Can
Yeah.
make a deception
I don't
check.
want to make an inside check to that because I know it's a lie.
I'm gonna do it anyway.
Make your deception check, sir.
Okay.
God, I hope it's a 1.
I hope it's a 1 as well. It's close
Oh
enough.
It's
my
close
God.
enough.
It's close enough.
Everyone in the bath. Jovin is lying.
I didn't need it anyways. I knew it was a lie. It didn't matter.
Are you feeling okay, Jovan?
Yeah. I don't know if I can tell they know I'm lying. And I don't think I'd care.
Probably
This is
with
just a very relaxed.
So, you want to tell us the real reason why you can breathe underwater for almost 30 minutes?
Now you can tell that you know you're lying.
It's a lichen thing. Yeah.
You said
Maybe.
you weren't a lichen.
You know, I was really baking on you not paying attention to that part.
Do you think I just not pay attention to anything you guys say?
Well, yeah, I thought I was beneath your station to notice.
Oh, good lord.
I mean, fair point.
Damn.
God damn.
Truth
No
drop
one
just
is
happened.
beneath anyone else, Joven. We all live in this world and we all must die in this world eventually. We all end up in the same place.
Well, look. Some people are just. Sometimes people are just born and. Screw it.
People are born all the time, Yogan.
Yes. People are born. That is
Not just
what happens.
sometimes.
So far, I'm following your statement. On the same page.
This ain't working. I'm not good at lying.
Oh, I know.
Clearly.
Look.
Oh man.
Would you believe me if I said a couple months ago?
A couple months ago, what?
Since I've been able to breathe underwater.
Sure, but what happened that made that so?
I had a dream. Looking away from the others as they say that.
A little louder there.
I had a dream about meeting someone in a fancy hallway, about saving the world.
Okay.
Was he wearing a mask?
Was this before or after you met up with us?
Yo, he's gonna keep looking away from them like a dog who's got eaten.
I'm going to squish his face and turn it towards us. Before or after you met us?
Before.
And were you told that you were meeting up with us before?
I got told there'd be people at Eric's who need help, and that this was very important to help save, like I said, the world.
And he gave you the power to breathe underwater?
Well, yeah.
What, you've got a fish tattooed on your arm?
I'm gonna show them my hand that has the tattoo on it.
Is that why you asked for sleeves?
So you show them your hand. It's just a hand.
There's nothing here.
What? Can I look at my own hand?
I assume so.
Yeah. Does it have the tattoo, or does it not?
So you do not see a tattoo on your hand.
Go back under the water.
I'm going to do that.
So you slink back under the water. Same thing as before. You're able to breathe underwater.
I'm looking at my hands. They don't. The tattoo doesn't just start showing up or anything under here.
So as you're under the water, there's a faint blue outline of a shark on your hand.
And I assume they're looking this way as well.
It's extremely faint.
Hot spring water is also pretty murky.
Yeah.
That too.
I'm just going to poke my head out. So apparently, you got to be under the water to see it.
I believe you. I don't need to dunk my hand under this awful water.
It's great. It is really great. I'm honest.
No, shut up. Well, this makes a lot more sense.
Great.
I mean, as I was helping you guys ended up running into things I've never run into, and with all the craziness with the assassination and all the bad luck that seems trapped your way, it kind of made sense that you all needed some help.
You're not wrong. And I mean, you're not right to follow this person, I guess, for the moment. We're all doing the same thing. Did he explain to you the sword and the reforging of such thing and the arc mirror?
Not all the details, but I heard you needed help. And, I was honestly ready working with Eric to just assume I'd been really, really drunk and made it all up.
Well,
why would he ever
real.
explain anything fully?
Gods work in mysterious ways
He's
beyond
full
our
of
understanding.
bullshit.
I mean,
Yada yada.
at the end of the day, it's to do something good. I believe that.
I don't.
Well, you don't, but I mean, maybe we can keep going and have an open mind about it.
Sure. I'm going to have an open mind about a giant entity that treats my dead friends like they're just bumps in the road.
So while you're saying this, a servant comes up and kind of holds out a metal tray to Domikos, on which there's a folded note on top.
No one just verbally communicate in this house? What the fuck?
Reach up and take the note, unfolding it.
So it says, "Are you and your companions staying for dinner?"
That's a good question. Would anyone be interested in staying for a meal here, dinner, or are we wanting to leave before that?
I have business back at my homestead that I need to get a jump on before tomorrow. It's up to you if you'd like to stay.
Not. I look over to bye.
No.
I don't feel like they'll let me in if I'm not with him.
Fair.
My parents are probably not going to be home yet, so I am floating around until I think they have.
I would appreciate you coming back to my estate tonight so we can discuss something. Along with a continuation of what we're discussing right now. Is the servant left yet?
No, the servant
waiting
is
for my.
The servant is, at like all other servants, eyes downcast, like a plain white mask on their face, holding the silver tray out, waiting for his response.
I'm just waiting for Domikos to say something then, before I continue what I'm saying.
To you, if you want to get away from your family for a little bit longer.
I'm going to say no, we will not be staying for dinner. To the servant.
The servant nods, stands up, and disappears into the men's changing room.
I use prestidigitation to burn the note. Because we're in a hot springs, so it's fine.
It's fine.
That bad, huh?
And we're surrounded by stone.
Well, I'm not completely opposed to our employer currently. I do feel like there is more research that could be done, that I have connections that could possibly help us with.
More criminal connections?
No, not criminal connections. Those connections that you saw me make were all very recent and new to me alike.
I think it would behoove that I told everyone this now. I don't believe I am under this same person's employ anymore.
I think we sort of figured that after our running with the, what does he want us to call him again?
S.
S, yeah.
Yeah.
That weirdo.
There are a lot of weirdos in this world, honestly.
But I will
There's so
continue
many.
to help with it all the same.
That's why I said research and study could be helpful right now, especially since we need to locate another piece of this sword still if we are to continue that.
I know how to do that.
Alright, well, that's one checkbox knocked off. But like I said, maybe a little bit more research into who we're under employ and the people he wishes to hunt down could be useful if we could find that information. There's also a few books that I may have picked up back in that mine, and I forget the name of the city was called, but... Oh, I remember, the one that you burned down.
It was one building.
Many more caught on fire, but that's near out there. But I did pick up a few books in that cave that did catch my eye, but I haven't really had time to peruse over them yet.
Well, what do they say?
They're about these guardians of something. Oh, I'm trying to find it. Guardians of Velirine. Specifically, one of them, the Guardian of the Wilds, Moroth.
Moroth, yeah.
The skeleton?
As far as I could tell, yes. He might have some more insight that we could look into. And I at least know my homestead is a safe place.
I'll try to keep on their good side.
You don't need to keep on their good side as long as you don't kill anyone. No one's going to harm you in my homestead.
Wait, did you say Guardian of the Wilds?
Yes.
Huh. That is weird.
Something you'd like to share with the class.
Well, it's probably not important. I guess our employer, since that's what we're going with now. You told me I was Guardian of the Wilds.
Are you sure being down there hasn't like boiled your brain a little bit?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Either way, we need to figure out who these guardians are and what relevance they even have to this whole convoluted plot. Not to mention the strange thing, vision, dream I had under this house special that I haven't told anyone about until right now.
You had a weird dream?
More of a forced spirit quest vision. I don't know yet. It wasn't very well explained to me, and I thought I was sort of partaking in an exotic alcohol drink, which happened to be a very strange dream thing. I don't know. Jethro could tell you about it. She was in the room at the time, and then the house burned down, so I didn't quite have time to explain it to anyone or think about it until right now.
What was it about?
As I said, we should probably discuss this in the estate, not here.
To be honest, yeah, I'm probably gonna head out of here soon. I'm pretty clean now, and I'm probably close to getting a little prudy.
Yeah.
Spent 20 minutes solely underwater. I'm surprised you're not a giant raisin right now.
Very well. Let's return to the Mesveric estate.
Okay.
So you each get out, go to your own respective rooms where your clothes are folded. There are towels waiting for you. Dry off, get into your nice warm clothes, and head back to the Mesveric estate. And because we're about to go into some more deep lore storytelling, don't want to cut anyone off on the end of a sentence, I think we're going to end that here for tonight.
Cool.
Thank you guys so much for joining us on another week of FetchQuest. We'll see you again next week and figure out what the hell Zahn was dreaming about.
Maybe, I don't even know at this point.
Who knows? Everything's a dream. Everyone's weird. Who knows what the hell is going on?
I'm not even real.
You had a little too much of that paper.
Follow us on Twitch. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Catch on up with us every Monday. Thank you guys so much for joining us. And a big shout out again to Jacob Kellogg. I posted the link in the chat to his stuff, and we'll have that connected to the YouTube video as well.
Cool.